In a post-enlightenment world where dominant cinematic and cultural norms demand clarity, resolution, and control, Scandinavian cinema chose a different path. They committed to a radical idea. Cinema, at its best, is not a vehicle for answers. It is a vessel for mystery, a mystery rooted in Luther's belief that truth cannot be reasoned, only revealed. Before the Reformation, the Church defined good and evil and claimed to control the path to salvation. Then, in the early 1500s, Martin Luther shattered that order with a radical idea. We do not choose salvation. It chooses us. Salvation is not a reward for moral performance. It is a miracle of divine mercy, received through surrender, a single terrifying moment of human agency, perhaps the only real choice we have. It makes every soul a potential vessel of divine action, and it is not through reason, but through faith that we find truth. Why is this important? What makes this particularly urgent now is that we live in an age obsessed with explanation. We've inherited the Enlightenment's promise that reason can penetrate all mysteries through logic and analysis, but it can't. And we've tried to force cinema into the same mold. Yet cinema, at its best, mirrors Luther's surrender. It doesn't need to explain. It doesn't need to resolve. When we enter a theater, we perform an act of faith. Most art asks us to interpret, to analyze, to appreciate. Cinema asks us to believe, and to believe completely. We must surrender our disbelief in order to receive its truth. We cannot reason our way into a film's reality. We must submit to it. In this surrender, film becomes a form of witness, not to doctrine, but to mystery. It invites us to peer into the abyss, to doubt, to despair, to confront the limits of human will within the space of limitless potential. Cinema becomes not a sermon, not a solution, but a testament. I believe, if Luther and Kierkegaard teach us anything, it is that the greatest act of faith a filmmaker can offer is to resist the urge to explain, to resist the demand for reason, and instead to allow the audience to sit with the inexplicable, to bear witness, to feel. And in that space, in that silence, however brief, to encounter something we all long for, the divine.